everyone, and welcome back to our channel. This vlog is a little different than what we've put out. We're just gonna share our PCS experience, which was a complete nightmare. Okay, let's just put it out there, complete nightmare. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put this disclaimer out there. I'm not trying to make it seem as if what we went through during our PCS was affecting us a lot, because it wasn't. What we went through compared to what other victims of Harvey went through, our issues don't compare to theirs. Ours is like this and theirs is like this. So I just want to put that out there. If you're military, you know PCSing is stressful enough, and then we just had like so many things just hit us back to back, where I mean it kind of was expected, but not to this extent, to be honest. And so I mean, I'm just gonna go ahead and get into it. But usually when you PCS, you have a few, like you have at least, you're supposed to have at least like 2 months. Not supposed to, but that's usually like a normal PCS. Chris only had 3 weeks to get his orders, schedule movers, schedule housing so that we can clear, because we did live on post. We only had 3 weeks to do all of that, okay? He had to clear post, all of that, and that's already stressful enough. So when we clear post, we ended up going to Georgia. Our family is from Georgia. We went to go see them before we moved 17 hours away. So that was that. And while we were there, Hurricane Harvey hit Houston, Texas. And yes, Chris's place of duty is Houston, Texas. No, we're not stationed at Fort Sam Houston. We are stationed in Houston. I just wanted to clear that up, because everybody's like, oh, y'all got stationed in Fort Sam Houston. No, we're not stationed in Fort Houston. We're stationed in Houston, Texas, the big city, which is our dream. Like, our dream came true. But anyways, so with that, we ended up moving a few days after, and our original plan had been to go from Georgia to like Atlanta or something, to New Orleans, to Houston. Well, that obviously didn't happen. We ended up going through Tennessee and Arkansas. Sorry y'all, the kids are eating their Go-Gurt. I'm helping Mel. But we ended up going through Tennessee and Arkansas and down into Houston, which, I mean, hey, it was nice. I really wish we did go to New Orleans, but it is what it is. So when we were driving here, we actually did get the tail end of Harvey. So like when it moved north into like Tennessee, Memphis area, that's when we were hit with like the tail end of the rain. So I mean, on our trip it did sprinkle, but it wasn't anything like that. So we do our trip and we finally get here, and roads are closed and everything. So we finally end up moving into our house, and our house was dirty. When I say dirty, I mean like dirt on the floors. The bathtubs look like somebody, like the mud man, came in, got in the shower, rinsed off, and just left dirt in the tub. There was human feces and urine on the floor, in the toilet, in the downstairs bathroom. Like, it was disgusting. And so it also didn't help that Houston was on curfew. So they were on this curfew because if you were paying attention to the hurricane and stuff, you knew people were coming in to help, but then people are also coming in to steal. They were saying they were helping, but they were stealing. So Houston ended up going on a curfew and everything closed at like 6. There were only like a few places that would stay open. So our first night in our house, we had to go buy our fridge. And can somebody please educate us on why most places have you bring or buy your own fridge? Because we don't understand. Every place we've rented has a fridge in it, so we're trying to figure that out, and nobody can really give us a good answer. So we had to go buy a fridge that night, and also we had to go buy toilet paper. We had to get cleaning stuff because it disgusting. When I say disgusting, there were holes in the wall. Like, we just had to get stuff, food, all of that. So 2 days later, I'm like, you know, when you move into somewhere, you like get a checklist and you go through the list and like write down damages and stuff so you don't get charged for it. So I did that, which was 2 pages long, by the way. And then I bring it to the office, and while I'm there, I'm like, hey, I need to speak to somebody about my house. And they're like, well, what's wrong with your house? I was like, it's a mess. So she was like, well, I don't know how they have theirs set up, but like the leasing people who do the contracts, they're separate from everybody else. So you're not working with just one agent. I don't know. But I'm like, I need to speak to this person. They're like, well, she doesn't have anything to do with you after you pick up your keys. And I'm like, well, my house is dirty. She was like, well, somebody can talk to you. And I'm like, well, I need somebody to talk to me now. And so I like raised my voice, and I was like, well, there was this, and I told her about the downstairs bathroom. And that's when she like rushed to go get somebody. So then I sat there, and because I told them, I was like, I have all day. I can sit here all day until somebody talks to me. So a person finally comes out, and we're gonna call her K because her name starts with a K. Name her K. So Kay comes out and she's like, can I help you? And I'm like, yeah, you can actually. And she's like, waves me to her office. So we sit down and she's just like asking me what's wrong, and I'm telling her like all of these issues. And she had like an attitude. So then she's just like, oh, well, that's our apology, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, okay. And this whole time, like, I'm being really understanding that Harvey just hit. So I'm like, whatever. So she's just like, I'm sorry. And then that's when I tell her about the downstairs bathroom, and that's when like her attitude was here and it went down to here. So it didn't really change, but she was a little nicer, I guess you can say. So that was that. I leave, and then 2 weeks later, Chris is washing dishes, and the dishwasher on the inside is black, or it was dark, or wherever he found this thing at was black. And he looks in the dishwasher and he sees, like, you know the little houses that have like the roach and ant killer in there? That's in our dishwasher, y'all. We have been washing our dishes with roach killer in there. So we had to take it out and we rewash everything. And I send them an email and I'm like, these are the issues. Nobody has done anything. Now we're finding this out. Like, what is going on? Somebody needs to rectify this, because at this point I'm ready to move. Like, you might get more money out of me if I move, but I don't, like, I'm done with y'all. So they ended up calling me. They, like, my phone, that happened at like 2 in the afternoon. My phone was blowing up the rest of the night because they were rectifying the situation, which I appreciate. Like, they did their job. They had an unsatisfied tenant and they fixed it. And they went above and beyond, not just, okay, well, we'll do this. No, they went above and beyond to do it. And come to find out, what ended up happening was the hurricane hit and they wanted to just push people into homes. So they took all of those people who were scheduled to get cleaned. They took all of those homes off the cleaning list. So our home had been scheduled to clean the day, like a few days prior to us moving in, but it obviously didn't happen. So that happened, and while some of this is going on, well, this is where like things really like escalated. When, like I said before, we had the Army move us, because I mean, we don't want to drive across the country with like the U-Haul. So we had the Army move us, and I went to call them. I went to call the storage place first, because they give you a tracking number. And I called the storage place first, and I was like, hey, we're trying to set up a delivery date to get our household goods. And they're like, well, what's this? And then I tell them all of our information. They're like, we don't have your stuff in our storage room. And I'm like, well, it says it got delivered. So they're like, no, it didn't get delivered. And I'm like, okay. So I call our case manager. We're gonna name him C. So our case manager doesn't reply back to emails, doesn't reply back to phone calls, doesn't reply back to voicemails. Just, I don't know what he was working for. Like, I don't understand why he was working, because that just, okay. So I tried contacting him to get delivered, and then I ended up talking to like 3 other people so they can figure out like and help me. So we end up setting a date for a Friday. This is all on Monday. We set up a date for a Friday, and y'all, this whole week they weren't trying to find our stuff. Our stuff was missing, not available, nowhere to be found. So Thursday night, something tells me, hey, you haven't heard anything from anybody about your not your package. Y'all, I got a package sitting over there that I've been itching to open, okay? Quit touching it. So something tells me Thursday night, email them to figure out what's going on with your delivery. So I send the email, and then Friday morning comes and the storage place calls me. Well, I called them and I'm like, hey, what time are y'all delivering our stuff? This time it was like 8:30 or something like that in the morning. Usually they come between 8:30 and 9, but I haven't heard from anybody. I was like, hey, haven't heard from anybody. What time are y'all delivering our stuff? They were like, we're not delivering it. Your date is canceled because we don't have your stuff. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't have our stuff? So when they set up our scheduled date, they sent an email to the storage facility and they sent one to us. So we were tracking the communication to an extent. We weren't tracking what the storage place was sending to them, to the case manager. And what ended up happening is the storage facility was asking our case manager to send him the landing bill or whatever they called it that has a signature of who signed for our shipment, because our tracking said our stuff was in Houston, but they didn't have it. So they're trying to figure out where our stuff could be. And y'all, my case manager wasn't working his stuff. Like, so this whole week nobody could find my stuff. And then I basically called my case manager and he actually answers. And I basically flip out. I'm like, why didn't you send this stuff to them? Why is this not going the way it's supposed to? You were supposed to, you had all week to send them this stuff. You had all week to find my stuff. And then he was like, we're working on it, this, that, and the other. I'm like, you should have been working on it. Like, come on now. You know we had a delivery date and they emailed you Monday night. Why can you not get your stuff together? Because it's already hard to contact you as it is. So he ends up getting off the phone, working with them, and then they sent an email to me, and I don't know what it was, but it just, like, I emailed both of them, and I was like, why is it that all week nobody could communicate, nobody could find our things, nobody was even trying to find our things? So then they emailed back, and they're saying that they found it in Dallas, which I'm thankful that they decided to reroute our stuff to where it wasn't damaged. But I kind of just was like, it could have been updated on our tracking and things like that. Like, at least let me know that my stuff is being rerouted, not just like do it, but let me know, you know. Well, let me know after y'all do it. That's all I needed to know. So then that happens, and the lady, she emails me back. We're gonna call her T. But T emails me back. She's like, this little thing called Hurricane Harvey. And when she said this little thing, it just like made me snap. So I emailed her and I was like, first of all, your unprofessionalism is uncalled for, unwarranted. Like, lady, get your stuff. And she kind of emailed me and she was just like, okay, well, I'll let you know a delivery date. So our stuff gets delivered. Y'all, these people didn't know what they were doing at all. At all. So when they delivered our stuff, I walked them through the house. I was like, this goes here, this goes there, this is the kids' room, this and that. They weren't paying attention at all. And then I specifically told them that a glass light fixture in one of the girls' rooms you have to watch out for, because they had already broke the other one in the other room. So I was like, watch out for this because it's really sensitive. So they're in, and it was in Kai's room. So they're in Kai's room and they're putting the beds together. And the beds, for some reason, she has a twin size bed. And for some reason, they stood her bed up like this to put it together. And then when they went to go put it down, they ended up hitting the light fixture and glass shattered everywhere. To the point where 3 weeks later, I stepped on a piece of glass, okay? I was so aggravated. I had to like keep my composure. But I was aggravated. I had already just told y'all to not do something to where this glass is gonna break. And of course they do it. So that's that. There were just like little things here and there during this move, just aggravating. If y'all are military and y'all watch this video, just don't be completely freaked out to have the movers move. I planned, okay? I planned, and I think Chris is like, he won't admit it, but he's glad I did. I packed pots and pans. I packed the bed, like not the bed, but like the air mattress. I packed the air mattress. We packed the TV. I packed plates and forks and like little things like that, everyday things. I packed, okay? I made sure we were set, and which it came in handy because obviously it took 3 extra weeks for our things to get here. So expect the unexpected. Just don't be surprised by it. I mean, everything, whatever you think can't go wrong will go wrong. So I mean, that's about it. But I mean, that was our PCS. That was a little stressful. Since we've been here, I think that also added on to me like not wanting to be here a little bit, but I'm getting better. I'm liking this place more. Like, it's actually a really, like, freaking love Houston. Like, I freaking love it now. What else? Have everything that you need. Like, if you're gonna PCS soon, even if you're moving across the country to move, just make sure you have everything on you. Your birth certificate, marriage licenses, social security card. Keep everything in one spot. So your PCS, make the most of it. We tried to make the most of it. Obviously that didn't happen. So just prepare for the worst. Don't get so caught up on it happening, because it might not even happen. Like I said, our move from Colorado to here was smooth. The only thing, we had a 6-month-old at the time. Like, we had to keep stopping to feed her, of course, but I mean, our PCS was easy peasy the first time, and we had movers that time. Now, so just prepare. More than likely it won't happen. Take care. You're welcome. But that's my story. That's our story. So if you've sat here and watched it this long, thank you very much. I really wish I would have vlogged our move, because I mean, like, when I say it got interesting, it got interesting. Thumbs up if you like this video. Let me know if you want me to make a PCS video. We can do something for that. Tips, tricks. I mean, it's not really a lot of tricks, but you can figure it out. Whatever advice on PCS, and like, summertime is PCS season, just letting y'all know. And if you're around military base, move fast on your homes, just saying. But thanks for watching. That's it for today. Have a good day. Bye.